what happens when trolls get bored. In Tiny Tales Land, 3 swamp-dwelling trolls turned a gloomy day into an unexpected adventure. Let's take a look. The swamp in Tiny Tales Land wasn't anyone's idea of a fun place. Mist clung to the air, thick and damp, and the occasional plop of something unseen disturbed the stillness. Draped in moss, tall trees stood like silent sentinels, and every step squelched in the muck. 3 trolls, Grumble, Stumble, and Fumble, called this place home. They didn't mind the mud or the shadows. It was boredom they couldn't stand. And today was the dullest day of all. Grumble sat slouched against a gnarled tree, flicking pebbles into a puddle. Each splash felt less satisfying than the last. "I'm so bored I might just sleep till next week," he grumbled. His name suited him well. Stumble, leaning awkwardly against a rock, rolled his eyes. "Sleep? What's your big idea? Great, that'll liven things up." Fumble, the smallest of the trio, crouched nearby, poking at the mud with a stick. He perked up suddenly, a grin spreading across his face. "What if we built a trap?" he said. Grumble raised an eyebrow. "A trap? For what?" "For fun!" Fumble exclaimed, his hands waving excitedly. "We could catch, I don't know, a rabbit, or maybe even one of those forest creatures that come too close." The other 2 exchanged glances, then shrugged. It wasn't the worst idea. Soon they were gathering branches, vines, and plenty of mud. Their trap was, well, ambitious. It leaned precariously to one side, and the vines tied around it looked as though they might snap if the wind blew too hard. Still, they stood back proudly, admiring their work. "Looks sturdy," Stumble said, though he didn't sound entirely convinced. Grumble crossed his arms. "It'll hold. We just need to wait." The swamp fell silent again, save for the buzzing of insects. Then, out of the mist, a rabbit appeared. Its soft fur glowed faintly in the dim light as it hopped closer, its nose twitching. The trolls held their breath, watching as the rabbit approached the trap. It sniffed cautiously at the muddy contraption. And then, with a loud snap, the whole thing collapsed into a heap of sticks and muck. The rabbit blinked, unimpressed, before hopping away. Grumble groaned, dragging a hand down his face. "That's it? That's all it does?" Stumble kicked at the pile, sending mud flying. "What a waste of time!" Fumble, however, stayed quiet. He stared at the logs scattered across the swamp, his brow furrowed in thought. "What if," he began softly, "what if we didn't build traps anymore? What if we just played a game instead?" The other 2 looked at him skeptically. "A game?" Grumble said. "What kind of game?" Fumble pointed to the mossy logs. "Leap log. We jump from one to the next, and whoever gets the farthest without falling wins." Stumble tilted his head. "And if we fall, you get muddy," Fumble said with a shrug. "But you're already muddy, so who cares?" It wasn't much of a plan, but it beat standing around in the swamp. Grumble went first, leaping onto the nearest log. It wobbled under his weight, and he had to steady himself with a loud grunt. Stumble followed, landing with a splash, but managing to stay upright. When it was Fumble's turn, he hopped lightly from one log to the next, barely disturbing the moss. "See? Easy," he called back, grinning. The game quickly turned competitive. Despite his size, Grumble found he had a knack for balancing on the logs. On the other hand, Stumble fell into the mud more times than he cared to admit, but even he couldn't stop laughing at the ridiculousness of it all. When the moon rose, its silver light casting long shadows over the swamp, the trolls were breathless. They sat together on a fallen log, covered in mud but grinning from ear to ear. "That was surprisingly fun," Grumble admitted, his usual scowl replaced by a smile. "Way better than traps," Stumble added, though he was still trying to scrape mud out of his hair. Fumble beamed. Told you. Sometimes the best fun is just playing together. The swamp wasn't just a place of gloom and muck from that night on. It was a place of games, laughter, and maybe even friendship. The trolls learned that fun doesn't have to come from mischief or clever plans. Sometimes, all it takes is a silly idea and a willingness to try something new. If you enjoyed this story, you'd love the last one. Oh, have you ever heard of someone trying to trap Santa? Nibbles, the squirrel, had his frosty adventure in Tiny Tales Land. Check it out in the description, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more magical tales. Sweet dreams, adventurers!
Oh, have you ever heard of someone trying to trap Santa? Well, today I'll share a tale from Tiny Tales Land about just that. Let's dive in. It was a frosty Christmas morning in Tiny Tales Land, where the snow fell softly and the town bustled with holiday cheer. But amidst the jingling bells and joyful laughter, one determined little squirrel named Nibbles had a very peculiar plan. You see, Nibbles wasn't feeling the Christmas spirit. Instead, he had set his sights on a daring mission to trap Santa. Yes, Santa himself, the magical Celestios Noel. Why would anyone do such a thing? Nibbles had lost his precious stash of acorns and was convinced only Santa could help him find it. So he decided to take matters into his own paws. That morning, Nibbles gathered all the supplies he needed: a giant wooden box, a long string, and a plate of cookies. His plan was simple: lure Santa under the box, pull the string, and voila, Santa would be caught. Of course, it wasn't the most foolproof plan, but Nibbles was determined. The town square was quiet as Nibbles set up his trap beneath the biggest Christmas tree in Tiny Tales Land. He waited patiently, his tail twitching with anticipation. As the clock struck midnight, the air filled with a soft jingle. Nibbles' heart raced. This is it, he thought. But it wasn't Santa who arrived first. Instead, the shimmering figure of Frostella, the magical snowflake guardian, appeared. She glided gracefully, her icy aura lighting up the snowy square. Nibbles, what are you up to? She asked with a gentle laugh. Nibbles explained his plan, his voice a mix of hope and nerves. Frostella chuckled, her laughter like tinkling icicles. Oh, Nibbles, you can't trap Celestios Noel. He comes to help, not to be caught. Just as Frostella spoke, the air shimmered again, and Celestios Noel appeared, his presence glowing with celestial energy. His sleigh hovered gently behind him, bells softly jingling. What's this I hear about a trap? He asked, his warm voice carrying a hint of playful mischief. Nibbles froze, his cheeks turning bright red. I'm sorry, Santa, he stammered. I just needed your help to find my acorns. Santa's eyes twinkled as he stepped closer. Little one, you only had to ask. With a wave of his glowing paw, Santa made Nibbles' acorn stash appear, neatly piled beside the tree. The squirrel's eyes widened in awe. Thank you, Santa, he whispered. Santa smiled kindly. Remember, Nibbles, patience and kindness go a long way, especially during Christmas. With that, he climbed back into his sleigh, his voice carrying through the air. Merry Christmas to all! As Santa and Frostella disappeared into the night, Nibbles stood by his acorns, feeling a mix of relief and a touch of guilt. He realized he didn't need tricks or traps, just a little faith and kindness. And so, the tale of Nibbles and his Christmas adventure became a favorite story in Tiny Tales Land. It reminded everyone that patience and kindness often bring the magic we seek. Nibbles learned his lesson, and every Christmas after, he left out cookies, not for traps, but as a gesture of gratitude. If you love this story, don't miss our last tale, The Legend of the Kind Princess. Princess Aria taught us that kindness is the greatest treasure of all. It's linked in the description, so be sure to watch it next. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join us at tinytalesland.com for more magical adventures. See you soon, little dreamers.
Welcome back, my little dreamers. Tonight I've a tale to share, as gentle and soothing as the stars themselves. Are you ready to drift into magic? Let's settle in, shall we? In Tiny Tales Land, even the whispers of the wind carry stories. This one's about a quiet night in the Whispering Grove and a little moment that reminds us of the beauty and stillness. Come, let me guide you into the heart of the tale. Once, on the softest of nights, the creatures of Tiny Tales Land gathered beneath the eternal glow tree. It wasn't a planned meeting, the tree simply called to them. Its glowing branches shimmered like frost kissed by moonlight, casting a silvery light on the grove below. Max the fox, with his lively wings perched high on a branch, humming a soft tune. Leafy the rabbit reclined against the trunk, weaving a crown of flowers. Even Aldwin the mouse was there, his spectacles fogging as he admired the tree's ancient carvings. Everyone was there, but doing nothing in particular. A hush blanketed the grove as the tree began to hum. The sound was deep, resonant, like the earth's heart whispering a lullaby to the stars. "Why does it sing tonight?" Aldwin asked, adjusting his glasses. "No reason at all," Leafy replied, her golden hair catching the tree's glow. "Maybe that's the beauty of it." Max swooped down, his wings brushing the petals. "A song with no reason? That's odd." Leafy smiled, plucking a petal. "Not everything needs a reason, Max. Sometimes the quiet moments are where magic hides." And so they sat, listening to the glow tree's gentle song, feeling its notes weave through their hearts. The stars above twinkled brighter, as if joining the melody. The animals of the grove didn't speak much, but they didn't need to. They felt it, the quiet connection between friends, the comfort of simply being. And in that stillness they realized something special. The glow tree didn't hum for a reason. It hummed because it could, because beauty exists in the moments we don't rush past. And for that one night, as the glow tree sang its soft, endless lullaby, Tiny Tales Land felt at peace. You see, my dear dreamers, not every moment needs a purpose. Sometimes the quiet ones where we simply breathe and be are the most precious. The glow tree's hum reminds us to slow down, to find the magic in stillness and connection. So tonight, let's embrace that calm. Let our hearts hum softly with the joy of simply being. If you loved this story, don't miss the last one, Celestios Noel's daring adventure to save Christmas. The Frost Goblin Queen herself couldn't dim the magic of hope and giving. It's linked in the description, so be sure to watch if you missed it. And as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more magical tales. Good night, little dreamers. May your dreams be calm, bright and filled with wonder.
Oh, hello there, little dreamers. Tonight, we're traveling back to Tiny Tales Land, a place where magic and kindness make every moment extraordinary. Ready for a story? Settle in, snuggle close, and let your imagination take flight. Tonight's tale is about Princess Aria, a kind-hearted royal from Tiny Tales Land, who showed her kingdom that kindness is more valuable than gold. Let's dive into the legend of the kind princess. Once upon a time, in the heart of Tiny Tales Land, there was a small but beautiful kingdom named Luminia. The people of Luminia loved their princess, Aria, for she wasn't like the royals they'd heard of in faraway lands. Aria didn't wear a jewel-encrusted crown or sit on a throne of gold. Instead, she adorned a simple tiara of daisies and spent her days among her people. One sunny morning, Sir Grouch, her royal advisor, marched into the village square with his usual scowl. "Your Highness, the people demand more gold. The harvest has left them grumbling." Aria tilted her head, her calm green eyes meeting his. "Gold won't fill their hearts or their bellies, Sir Grouch. Let's see what kindness can do." Sir Grouch frowned deeply, but followed as Aria began her plan. She called for a great feast in the castle courtyard, inviting everyone in the kingdom, rich and poor alike. When the villagers arrived, their faces were tired and marked by worry, but Aria greeted each one with a warm smile, offering bowls of soup, fresh bread, and stories to lift their spirits. As the golden sun dipped below the hills, casting a soft glow over Luminia, Aria stood and addressed her people. "My friends," she began, her voice steady but warm. "We are not just a kingdom, we are a family, and families look after one another." The villagers murmured softly. But how, Princess? An elderly farmer asked. We have so little to share. Arya smiled and lifted her hand, revealing a pouch of golden seeds. Plant these, she said, her voice ringing with hope. Not just in your fields, but in one another's hearts. Kindness grows faster than any crop, and it can change everything. At first, the villagers were skeptical, but Arya wasn't done. The very next day, she visited the village herself, weaving her magic of kindness. She helped an elderly baker knead his bread, repaired a farmer's plough, and spent the afternoon singing with the children. Inspired by her actions, the villagers began to do the same. The farmer shared his wheat with the baker, who in turn baked bread for the carpenter. The carpenter repaired the fisherman's boat, and soon the entire kingdom was alive with the hum of kindness. Even Sir Grouch, who was as grumpy as a storm cloud, was seen mending a child's broken toy, grumbling the entire time, but with a twinkle in his eye. Over time, Luminea thrived, not because of gold, but because of the seeds of kindness Arya had planted. Travelers came from across Tiny Tales Land to witness the transformation and to learn the secret of Luminea's joy. And Princess Arya, she never needed a golden throne or a crown of jewels, for her greatest treasures were the hearts she had touched. So, my dear friends, you see, even in Tiny Tales Land, kindness is a magic all its own. Princess Arya showed us that the strongest kingdoms aren't built with riches, but with love, care, and connection. Remember, kindness is like a seed. Plant it, nurture it, and watch as it grows into something beautiful and bright. If you loved this tale, you'll adore the last one. Discover the magic of stillness. It's about Max, Leafy, and Aldwin finding beauty in quiet moments under the glow tree's shimmering light in Tiny Tales Land. It's linked in the description, so don't miss it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more magical bedtime stories from Tiny Tales Land. Good night, little dreamers. Keep spreading kindness and letting your light shine.
Gather close, little ones, for today's story is extra magical. I have a letter straight from the heart of Tiny Tales Land. Now let me tell you, this isn't just any letter. It's a story that warms even the chilliest winter night. Let's begin. Dear children of Tiny Tales Land, it was the eve of Snowlight Festival. The moon was silver bright, and the stars were winking like they had secrets to share. As I sat in my sleigh, dusting off the last sprinkle of enchanted snow, I heard a knock at the toy shop door. I opened it to find little Milo Mouse shivering in his patched coat. His whiskers twitched nervously. "Mr. Noel," he squeaked, clutching a crumpled piece of parchment, "I need your help." "Come in, Milo," I said, waving him toward the fire. "What's troubling you?" He hesitated, rubbing his tiny paws together. "It's for my sister, Lily. She's never had a Snowlight Festival gift." My heart twinkled at his kindness. "What kind of gift would make her happiest?" Milo's ears perked. "Something magical, like your sleigh," I laughed, patting his shoulder. "A tall order, but let's see what we can do." Together we crafted a gift unlike any other, a tiny sleigh carved from shimmering ice, enchanted to glide across their cottage floor. But Milo didn't stop there. "Can we make it glow, Mr. Noel, like the stars?" I handed him a wand of stardust, and he sprinkled it with a whisper of hope. The sleigh gleamed, its light dancing across the walls. "This is perfect," Milo exclaimed, his eyes wide. "But how will she know it's from me?" I smiled, handing him a quill. "Write her a letter." Milo's brow furrowed as he scrawled, his tail curling thoughtfully. Finally, he held it up, beaming. "She'll love it, I'm sure." The next morning, as dawn blushed the snowy hills, I watched from my sleigh as Lily found her gift. Her laughter chimed through the frosty air as she read Milo's heartfelt note. "Dear Lily, You are my shining star. May this sleigh carry all your dreams. Love, Milo. And do you know, little ones, something extraordinary happened? The sleigh lifted not just across the cottage, but into the air, carrying Lily's joy straight to the stars. The magic of giving, you see, doesn't end with the gift. It grows brighter in the hearts of those who receive it. And that, my dear friends, is the true spirit of Snowlight Festival. The magic of kindness, wrapped in the simplest of gestures. Milo's love for Lily turned an ordinary sleigh into a star-bound miracle. So, what can we learn? It's not about the size of the gift or its sparkle. It's about the thought and care behind it. Imagine if we all shared that kind of kindness. What a glowing world we'd have. Now, my little storytellers, if you enjoyed this tale, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this story with friends and family. We post new magical stories every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Got your own stories, drawings, or questions? Send them to stories@tinytales.tv or visit tinytales.press/tinytalestv to see your creations in the next podcast, airing the last Saturday of every month. Until next time, keep the magic alive, and don't forget to spread kindness wherever you go. Gather round, dear friends. The stars whisper secrets tonight, and I've a story to tell, a tale of a gift-giver's grand adventure. Shall we begin? Long ago, in the snow-kissed valleys of the northern glow, where every snowflake dances with a sparkle of magic, a challenge awaited me. Yes, me, Celestius Noel, the one some call Santa. It wasn't just about delivering presents this time. Oh no, it was about saving Christmas itself. But let's not rush ahead. Allow me to take you there. It started on the eve of the greatest snowstorm in centuries. My sleigh, yes, the marvelous one with bells that chime like laughter, was loaded with treasures for children everywhere. But just as I was ready to set off, a dreadful cackle echoed from the frost-covered mountains. "Celestios Noel!" screeched the Frost Goblin Queen. Oh, she's a tricky one and always stirring trouble. "I've stolen the Aurora Crystal. Without its glow, your magic sleigh won't fly. No gifts for the children this year." Well, you can imagine my dismay. A sleigh that won't fly is like a bird without wings. But giving up? Oh, not this, Noel. I tightened my belt, adjusted my frosted antlers, and vowed to retrieve the crystal before dawn. First, I ventured into the ice caverns of wonder. Have you ever seen icicles so enormous they could pierce the heavens? Inside, I met a peculiar polar bear with spectacles perched on his nose. "Lost, are we?" he grumbled, though his eyes twinkled kindly. "What's the rush?" "Rush," I said, puffing my chest. "I'm saving Christmas. The Frost Goblin Queen has stolen the Aurora Crystal." The bear chuckled, a deep rumble that shook the icicles. "Ah, the Queen's mischief again? You'll need help navigating her labyrinth. Take this." He handed me a snowflake-shaped compass, its needles spinning wildly before settling. Grateful, I set off, the compass lighting my way. Next came the forest of frozen whispers. The trees, towering giants cloaked in frost, seemed alive. Their branches groaned and shifted, forming words. "Turn back!" they creaked. "The Queen's traps are deadly." But I smiled and said, "Not today, my frosty friends. Christmas is at stake." Their branches trembled, but they let me pass. At last, I reached the Goblin Queen's fortress. Oh, what a sight it was! Icicles glittered like daggers, and her throne sparkled with stolen treasures. She sat there clutching the Aurora Crystal, her grin as sharp as winter's bite. "You're persistent, Noel," she sneered, "but you'll never win." I stood tall, my paws glowing with celestial light. "Christmas isn't about winning, Queen. It's about giving, joy, and hope. You can't steal that magic." Her eyes narrowed. "Can't I?" She hurled a snowstorm at me, but I held my ground. The compass in my hand began to glow, projecting beams of light. They wrapped around the crystal, lifting it from her grasp. Oh, how she howled! "This isn't over!" she shrieked, vanishing into the shadows. With the crystal restored, my sleigh soared once more. The stars cheered as I delivered every gift, just in time for Christmas morning. And the Frost Goblin Queen, well, perhaps even she felt a little warmth that night. And so, my friends, Christmas was saved not by magic alone, but by determination and the belief in something greater than ourselves. It's a reminder, isn't it, that kindness, courage, and hope can light the darkest nights. Even a grumpy Goblin Queen can't snuff out that glow. Now, dear friends, if this story warmed your heart, there's more where that came from. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our channel. Visit tinytalesland.com for early access to weekly stories and send your own tales, questions, and drawings to stories@tinytales.tv. Remember, we post new magical adventures every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Until next time, keep believing, keep dreaming, and keep spreading joy. Gather round, little ones. Today's story is a special one, straight from Tiny Tales Land. A story of warmth, joy, and the true magic of Christmas. Shall we begin? In Tiny Tales Land, Christmas isn't just about twinkling lights and delicious treats. It's a time when hearts glow